series of exercises we are going to be practicing together, there will always be a default scan that we need to do of our body in order to build the position, the posture that we want to dance on. And it's going to be a place where we can find gravity, we can find core control, we can have stability when we're moving from one foot to the other, and it will be very similar to what we do when we are in the actual embrace. So the one thing we want to start scanning from is the position of the feet. We want the feet together, if possible with the toes together. Sometimes some people need to have the feet in a slight V position. Fine, it's okay. But if it is possible, let's try to hold the toes together to begin with. Now make sure that your ankle bones are touching each other, which will mean that you're going to be projecting the weight of your body toward the inside of your feet and never toward the edges of your feet, because this is a very unstable position and it happens a lot. So make sure that you're sending weight to the arches of your feet, the ball of the foot on the floor. So far we're still flat-footed. From that position, now we go to the knees, and we want the knees to be always in a spot where we can shake them. If we cannot shake the knees, it will mean that we are either too bent, now we cannot shake, or too far back, locking our knees. We cannot bend either. In any case, both of those extremes are going to be a little dangerous for our posture. If we go forward, we're going to be sending a lot of weight to our knees. If we're going to lock our knees backwards, then of course we don't have any sprint to support our movements, and that's not going to work. It's going to be painful. So always be able to shake your knees. Once you scan your knees, let's go to your hips. You want to have the hips parallel to the floor and loose, all right? Imagine you want to do the hula dance for a second. Loose hips, and you're going to be engaging the core muscles right in the middle, in your pelvic floor and the belly button. So connect your pelvic floor with your belly button. That will mean you're going to be flattening your lower back. We'll take a view from the side in a few seconds. Next, let's go to the rib cage. You want the two bottom ribs to go on top of the ball of the feet. All right? So from where we were before, we lean and send the two ribs on top of the ball of the feet. By this time, if everything is as we're planning to have it, where it has to be, then our heels should be very easily going up and down off of the floor, all right? Because they are not going to be carrying any weight. Next, we want to have the chest bone right in the center of our chest, the heart chakra, some call it, pushing forward and up. And here, we will always imagine that from this point, there is a ray of light that is aiming toward the top of our partner's head. Regardless of how tall or small our partner might be, what we want is to make sure that we're never slouching and sending energy down, because then they become too heavy. We are going to always project up and forward. So say, if my partner is very tall, I will need to reinforce that feeling, projecting up. If my partner is my height, just a little bit will be enough. Imagine you're sending to the top of your own head. And that's where you're going to be creating a very nice resistance and a very nice connection with your partner that is not going to be heavy, all right? Now what happens with the back of our body? Because everything we've been discussing was on the front of our body. The back of our body is also going to do exactly the opposite. So we're going to be building sort of an arrow rubber band effect with our posture. What I'm saying is, as we have the weight in the ball of the feet, we relax the knees. And now when we tuck the pelvis forward by engaging the core muscles and the belly button, what we do is we bring the lower back backwards, all right? So make sure that you don't want to be arching your back. It might be sexy, but it's very painful. So be careful with that. Always lower your tailbone, point it down as if you imagine your tailbone is the tail of an angry dog, all right? So you go down with your tailbone and you're softening here and stretching the muscles of your lower back. The core is engaged, the upper body is going up, the ribs are on top of the ball of the feet, and the shoulder blades are going to be pushing down as well. So those are the elements that are going to keep us grounded and making us feel the center on the floor, all right? Always keep the shoulder blades down, Keep the belly engaged so the flat lower back goes backwards. Let's imagine we are jumping off of a pool, of a swimming pool. Now we're going to put the hands on the edge of the pool and go up and forwards from our upper body. Technically here we would be able to raise without making a lot of effort. If we ever go up here with our shoulders, then that's it. We're never going to be able to jump off of the floor. So we want to push the shoulder blades down and back, the hips down and back, so we can stretch our spine by bringing the body upward. So again, last time that scan goes quickly. The feet, ball of the feet. Make sure you're shaking your knees so you can detach your heels off of the floor. Engage your pelvic floor. Loose hips here. Engage your belly button. The rib cage on top of the ball of the feet. The chest bone pointing up and forward toward the partner's head. The shoulder blades down. The hips down and the tailbone pointing to the floor. From that point, it's super easy. You build your frame, either if you're leading or following, and that's it. You can move anywhere. Thank you.